All right. We in there? Yeah. Welcome back. We got the GoPro Hero 11 and we're taking it to the streets today. We do that a lot of days because we like doing that. So before we left, we checked the weather, check Google Maps so we know where we're going. Check. We're making good note of where the sun is because you got to know where your light's coming from doing street photography. We got those checks in place. The only thing left to do is to be safe and have fun. That's what we're going to learn how to do today, mostly be safe. Thanks for coming. We got some work to do. Let's start off by learning a little bit about the law. Speaking of which, right there. How do we obey the law when we're doing street photography? Well, first thing is, you got to remain on public property. You really do. Safest thing, find out where the walking paths are and stay on them. That is public property. Nothing can happen to you on public property. You can do photography, you can do videos, you can do whatever you like of whatever you like from public property because it creates a safe space for you when you're doing photography. Know where your public areas are. Pay attention to when you might be wandering off into private property. One thing you don't want to do is go on private property and take photos unless you have permission. If you have any doubts, curbs, sidewalks, if the road doesn't have a curb or sidewalk, the side of the road or the road itself is public property. Wow. That dude is going off. I don't know what he's going off about, but holy crap, he's going off. Know where that public property is. And you want to try and not be a nuisance if you can avoid it. Make friends out there. Really important is to create some safe spots, create some areas where you have friends and you can go visit your friends. It's not hard to do. Just go into a cafeteria, whatever, over tip, be nice, make friends, have safe spots. And also know your shortcuts. Know how to get out of Dodge. If you, for some reason, are accosted or whatever, know how to get yourself out of there. And know how to get out quick. That's where Google Maps comes in handy. It's not always up to date, but it'll give you a layout of what was there anyways. That's important. Make friends along the way. Create safe spots and know when you're on public property. And have fun. You can't have a bias or an agenda when you're doing street photography. You gotta, okay, he's not coming my way. You gotta play it smooth. You gotta just take in the environment like you were doing nature photography. Regardless of your own thoughts on anything, you're capturing street. You're not capturing a likeness of yourself. You're capturing all likeness, all manner of likeness. Now there's documentary style photography. That's a whole different thing. This is street. We're just grabbing stuff. That's it. You know, grabbing what we can get. Learn how to separate self. Once you strap that camera on, you are a free agent. You don't belong to nobody, nothing. You gotta just work the street like you're working the street. You really can't use your own biases. And it really helps me because I'm not from here. This isn't my hometown. I've only lived here for 7 years. I'm not worried about some old friend going, "What are you doing? That's pretty stupid," you know, or whatever my mind conjures up. Instead, I don't know anybody. So it kind of makes it so I can do whatever I want. Let's do some quick photography of this. See how we do. Doing our photography today with the Fuji GF XS2 with the 45mm f2.8, and that's what we're gonna shoot with today. Not the ideal street camera, but you know, there's purists that think that you have to be out there with a prime lens and with this kit or that kit or whatever kit. You know, I shot wedding photography. There's a reason wedding photographers don't use prime lenses. I'm just saying. A zoom lens, although not proper etiquette on the street for the purists is a pretty good choice, especially if you live in an area where everything's spread out. You learn how to use the zoom quickly. You don't miss shots because of the zoom. You miss shots because you miss the shots. Have your zoom preset if that's what you need. Having that extra reach gets me the photos I need to get. Now, I enjoy shooting with prime lenses. I'm using one right now, but zoom lenses are just fine. Whatever your gear is just fine. Take it out and hit the streets with it, you know? Phone's very capable street camera. The purists are purists, and that's okay, but you don't have to be one unless you want to be. That's cool too. Here's some things that are off limits for me, just personally. Cell phone zombies. You know, what's the challenge of shooting somebody while they're lost in their cell phone? I mean, it's an easy way to catch people, I guess. Camera size can be an issue. Discrete street photography, where you've got a little camera and you're just sort of popping out shots where you can find them, is great. That works. But for me, I think I'd rather be seen, you know? I think I'd rather be noticed. I think I'm safer that way. I'm a little more deliberate in my street photography. I hold no bones about it. If I'm gonna rattle off a few shots, I'm just gonna do it. Doesn't matter what kind of gear I'm using. That's just what I'm gonna do. If you don't see signs, you don't see signs. People on private property can always ask you to leave. Right now, I want to try and get down to the end of this and capture some of those wine barrels they have down there. So some other things I don't do photography of is schools. I just don't go anywhere near them. I don't do homeless people. I will use people for perspective because they add a good scale to your photos. So if I do someone from behind or the back of a head, it's typically for scale. I don't try and capture people that way. That's not my gig. There's times when a bike or a runner or someone goes by you and it adds a really good perspective of scale. Scale can be important, even if you do use the back of a head sometimes. So, street photography quick tip is that if you check Zillow or whatever real estate agency you've got nearby, look for property for sale, commercial property. They're never going to bug you for taking the photo. They're really not. Have some information in your back pocket. Be ready with it. Yeah, a friend of mine sent me to take photos of this because it's on the market. He doesn't live here. You know, quickly roll out some history, you know, hit him with some history right between the eyes. Hey, did you know this building was built and used to be this or was this or is part of that? Helps to know your history. It's a good topic changer. It adds validity to what you're doing in their mind. Not that you have to, because you don't have to answer to anybody. You really don't. But it's better if you have an answer and it's one that they can't deny. You're golden if you can pull that off. Know whereabouts you are, rehearse some of your little answers, and don't behave in a manner that thing. Let's go down here. Come on, some cool cars down there. Don't behave in a manner that would further create suspicion. People already have their mind made up on what you're doing and how wrong it is. Don't give them a reason to be right. Use information on your side. You know, I get caught right here. I say, wow, there was no signs. It looks like a public parking lot. Taking photos through the gate. Well, because I got someone who might be interested in that yellow car. I got a friend. Do you happen to know what model of car that is? Because it looks just like the one he's looking for. Have that in your back pocket. Ready to roll. It's a nice yellow, isn't it? Look at that. It's got white walls on the back end. So it's great. Look at that. That's wonderful. Yeah, we're gonna get the back end of that. We're gonna head over to that little wagon, get that. Another bit of advice, play dumb. I mean, I'm blonde, I'm better at it than most. Play dumb and innocent, just a photographer. When someone asks you, why are you taking pictures? A really good answer is because I'm a photographer. That's what I do. If they ask, why are you taking pictures of my stuff? It's because you got really cool stuff. Tell me about this stuff. Always push forward. And if it starts to where you need to push back, get away. Just get away. There's vigilantes out there that think you're doing wrong. There's cops out there that think you're breaking the law. There's people out there that think you're what's wrong with this town. And you're an element they don't like. All that stuff. You got to break through those barriers. You got to be confident in what you're doing. You got to be on a mission. You got to sell yourself on that mission. Wear some thick skin. It ain't easy. It's not. If it were easy, there'd be people with cameras all over. None of them have any authority. They just think that they do. Keep going with it. Don't give up. Don't let them frustrate you. People in white Ram trucks yell mean things at you. Just smile and wave. It's the best you got. And take a picture of them while you do it. What a great setup. Look at this. See, don't be afraid. If you're on the streets and you see something cool, capture it, man. Small cameras are great and they're discreet and fun to shoot. But when you roll out something like that, all of a sudden you hit the realm of journalist. You know what I'm saying? Put you in another league. The First Amendment, if you haven't studied up lately, you need to go read it, because every citizen is a member of the press. Every citizen is part of the press. You are allowed by law to make your own content of the world. Don't let them stop you. Keep charging forward. Keep doing your due, and be safe and have fun. Thanks for coming. See you later. Hope this helps somebody.